Good evening, Speed Racing Network fans, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jake Roell. I'm here with my broadcast partners, Daniel Badler and soon-to-be Dean Brummett, joining me up in the booth here. We got a great race tonight here out at Thunder Valley. We got the Rocky Top 125 at Bristol Motor Speedway for 125 laps with our truck series here at Speed Racing Network. Daniel Badler, man, how's it going right now?
Pretty good, Jake. We came off a great race here at Atlanta last week and moving right into Bristol this week and sure shaping up. Hopefully we have a good night.
Yeah, I definitely think this is going to be an interesting race to say the least. I think there's going to be quite a few accidents. Just, it's the nature of the beast here at Bristol. And, I think there's going to be some tempers, some fists thrown in the garage area after the race. But at the end of the day, man, I think we're going to see one heck of a show by our truck series drivers.
Yeah, it should be pretty interesting. We're going to go from the mile and a half, pretty wide open and a lot of lanes to use at Atlanta. And we're going to come here to the really tight quarters, of Bristol. So, there's going to be more of a preferred line here and everybody fighting for that position.
Yeah, and like you just said, that preferred line here at Bristol is going to be that high line. I haven't had any time here in the trucks at Bristol lately. So I don't know really, but if it's anything like the Xfinity and the Cup cars, man, it's all about being up by the wall and just carrying that speed down these straightaways into the next corner. But I just think it's going to be a really good race. A few cautions to start off, but just hold with us, and I think we're going to have a great show for all our fans watching our SRN race here tonight for the Truck Series. But a little bit about the league. It's a 20-week series. It's fixed setups for every single driver, so everyone's got the same setup, even playing field when it comes to that. Like I said just a few moments ago, these guys got two faster pairs, so with 125 laps here at Bristol, things happen quickly, so you could get into some accidents. You're able to fix the truck. It's a $5 entry fee every single week, and that leads out to weekly as well as season payouts, including if you win the first place prize of $300 for winning the individual championship. Man, that's huge money when you think it's only $5 every single race to get into this thing. As well as we have a team championship where you bring home $100. So you got 5 guys on a team. We take the best points day every single week for 4 drivers on your team, and it's a season-long championship.
Yeah, Jake, and you talked about those payouts. First place is going to bring home $300, but as we can see here, we look at the rest of the field, and the weekly payouts here, everybody going to have an opportunity to bring home some money here. If you finish in the top 7, our first place driver is going to bring home at least $25 plus the Xfinity race entry. So that's another $10 value added on top of that. And then second place is going to bring home 15, third at 10, fourth at 10, and then 5th through 7th is going to bring home $5.
Yeah, and I think the best thing there on the screen right there is if you do win the race, like you said, you get that free Xfinity race entry. And, if you're running good in the trucks, I got to imagine it's going to translate over into the Xfinity car. So you could wind up winning even more money, finishing in the top 7 there tomorrow night, Thursday night when our Xfinity series runs here. So I just think that's a really cool little thing we have in our league compared to some other leagues. So it's just something always to watch out for.
Yeah, and we're going to move in here, I believe, to the season-long payouts. You talked about first place bringing home that $300, but we're going to pay out through the 5th position here. The top 5 at the end of this. Second's going to bring home 150, and third with 100. 4th at 75, and 5th is going to bring home $50 for this season-long championship, along with the team championship. The highest finishing team, they're going to bring home $100.
Right, and that's one awesome thing is you could be in the top 5 for driver standings, and bring home any of those prizes you see there presented by Griffith CPA firm. But also you'd split up $100 with either 4 or 5 drivers. I mean that's another $20 or $25 in your pocket to go along with that. So there's just a lot of money to be had here in this league. So it's like a bank vault, like we saw. I mean, it really is, and that's always great to have here at Speed Racing Network. And another thing we offer here at SRN is the fact of if you are the cleanest driver in the league for having the lowest incidents per lap, you get to bring home a butt kicker, which is an awesome accessory to have for your sim racing experience. You add it to your sim rig or even just your office chair, whatever you might use to sit on for iRacing, and it just emulates every single bump and movement in the car, like the real deal if you were sitting in an actual race car. So it's an awesome piece of equipment to add to your time on iRacing. And if you don't win the thing for the Clean Driver Award, you can also use our discount code of SRNVS20 to save 20% off of your order on Butt Kicker's website. So be sure to check them out.
Yeah, and you talk about adding, something to your sim rig. This next thing we're going to see here and talk about, you could add some of these coaching sessions with, a real Coke Series driver here in Kane Cook. You can go online here to Speed Racing Network, and you can find the link to that. Get you a session here with Kane Cook, and just learn some more about what you can get better at, and better. Struggling to find the words here. Just better your experience on iRacing, and just keep moving forward.
Absolutely, and you can check that out on SpeedRacingNetwork.com. He's got solo sessions, one-on-ones, as well as you and a friend duo sessions, or even a bigger group session where you could have yourself and a handful of your friends, or even if you got a team like one of our teams here in our league. He's more than willing to help out a whole team. And just quickly with Kane, he's, like you said, in the Coca-Cola Series, the highest echelon of racing and oval on iRacing, and he's known for having the most hard charger awards on the platform of iRacing, which means you've gained the most positions from your starting position at the end of the race. So this guy knows every single trick of the trade. So there's no one better to learn some tips out than Kane Cook.
Yeah, absolutely not. We're going to take a look here now at our season standings. Michael Madden, he's going to be our leader right now at this moment. As we look down this list, Corey Saucier, he's right there. They've been battling hard back and forth for this points lead. And then you got Cole Martin, man. We've been really talking about him these last 3 weeks. Starting to creep up here into this picture. He could be right there.
Yeah, you definitely can. I got to imagine if you're kind of sitting anywhere from about 9th or above in this list right here, you're kind of feeling pretty safe about yourself. But anywhere down, you get lowered on this list. Sean Kozier in 15th. You see Robert Yost and Bobby Anderson right above him. These guys are kind of right on the verge of being knocked down from guys that are outside the cut. So these guys, with Bristol this week, and then we got Martinsville and Richmond coming up. The last 3 races here are all short tracks before we get to the playoffs. So you got to keep that in mind and keep your cars or trucks clean, and be able to get yourself into that playoff, because one bad race by yourself could flip the scene for yourself.
That's for sure. As we're gonna take a look here now at the field here from 16th on back, as we're joined here by Dean Brummett himself. So Dean, looking at these drivers back here from 16th on back, it's going to be getting to be a limited time to get yourself into these playoffs. Is there anybody you're looking at here that could really stand out to you?
Yeah, man, I'm sitting here looking right at this cut line. Honestly, I'm kind of looking at about 18th up to about the 16th. I hate to count anybody out here, but unfortunately, I really think that the points gap and the number of trucks that we wind up seeing show up each week, I just really think it's going to be tough for anybody else to really go through. Now, at the same time, coming up on 3 consecutive short tracks, and 3 of the hardest ones at that, in terms of Bristol, in terms of Martinsville, in terms of Richmond, I could be made a complete fool of. But like I said, right here, I really think Matthew Johnson, James Kerr, Jeffrey Stewart, I think those are about your only ones out of this outside the cut lane that have truly any chance to make this playoff.
Yeah, I think you got to watch 2 guys, though. I got to imagine Vincent Cortez, man. He's been really fast every single, anywhere we go to. And then a real dark horse, if we really want to get into it. I mean, I know the man's sitting 36 points out of this thing, but Cody Madden, he joined our league kind of late, got himself in a hole, but every single week we show up to a new track and we check these standings out, and he just keeps putting another foot forward and keeps moving up this list. And, anything's possible until that checkered flag waves for the final race before our playoffs. So you never know. I mean, he could sneak out some top 5 finishes here these last 3 races and find himself inside the playoffs.
Yeah, Jake, I apologize on my late entry here. I got a little lost here through the infrastructure of Bristol Motor Speedway, but managed to show up just in time for one of my favorite subjects here, the Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Team Championship. Rev Racing here leading the way with 3 wins. Pretty sizable points lead in front of Jonathan Byer Racing. Jonathan Byer Racing kind of, when I look at it here, it's really interesting, Jake, because they've got no wins. They are sandwiched right between 2 3-win teams. They're definitely in this thing, absolutely in this thing. Then you have R&D Motorsports there in third with those 3 wins. Striker Motorsports, a winless team. Team SRN, the home team, in 5th. Bronco Motorsports bringing home 3 wins. Cole Martin with 2 of those here in the last couple weeks. Tank Racing there in 7th, and rounding it all out is H2K Motorsports.
Absolutely, and you see Rev Racing kind of out front leading this thing. It's definitely not impossible, but it's going to be really tough. So let's show you these teams here, brought to you by Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia for our team introductions. And again, leading this thing first off, we got Rev Racing, man. These guys have been, from the point of the start of this season, man, just absolutely flying week in and week out. You see Michael Madden in that 15 truck. He's come home with 2 wins. Byron McDonald, he doesn't have a win, but he's running up front every single week. You got Nathan Nixon, who won at the road course at Daytona International Speedway, as well as Sean Kosher and Cody Riggs. So this team is loaded with talent. These guys, any of these 5 can show up and win one of these things.
Yeah, Jake, and kind of going here to the team without any wins, this Jonathan Byer Racing team, they have been in contention every single week. It seems like it just always had something go wrong. You've got Jack Johnson there in the 35, Matt Johnson in the 61, the captain himself, Jonathan Byer, in the 66, and James Kerr in the 75, and rounding it all out there is Kyle Wimble in the 91. Like I said, these guys have a great opportunity here, and going through trying to pick up some wins here, Jake. It's just kind of a matter of when it's going to happen for these guys.
Yeah, it really is. They've been very consistent all season long. They've been really strong the last 3 or 4 weeks, kind of gaining ground, even though it seems like an impossible task for them to catch Rev Racing. But this is a standings that runs throughout the whole season. It never gets reset or anything like that. So there's still a long way to go to the end of the season, and they keep running like they've been doing, and they could close that gap and possibly squeak it out. It'd be a miracle.
Yeah, and Jake, like I said, anything can happen with this season-long championship, and you just look right now here. We were talking about that 3-win team in R&D Motorsports. Corey Saucier with his 3 wins, Bobby Anderson in the 18, Jason Kratke in the 54, Trevor White in the 88, Mike Mosby there in the 99. Corey has really been up front pretty well all season long. We've gotten to see him race several times in our Xfinity series, just off of his winning merits here in the trucks. And like I said, these guys are going through each and every week, staying consistent, and even though they're 3rd right now, still a lot of season to go to make that push towards that team championship.
Oh, it really is. And if they all start running how we saw Corey Saucier on that 3-peat, if they can all start showing that same speed and really racking up good finishes, they can make a lot of ground up really, really quick. But we'll move into our next team, which is going to be Striker Motorsports. Dean, this is close to our hearts. Last season we ran for this team. But this year, Travis Trevelyan's taken it over, rebranded it for a Truck Series team. You see him in the 71 truck. He's got his teammates Jose Castellanos, Mike Lewis, Brandon Domain, as well as Joe Ruggles, who we've seen, kind of being really quick for qualifying and qualifying on a couple poles, and another top 5 starting position. So this team's got speed. It's just a matter of putting it all together in a race and, having strong finishes. I just feel like every single week it's almost 2 or 3 of these guys are just caught up in accidents and maybe their own mistakes, things like that. And it's just been a long season for them.
Yeah, Jake, it's definitely been a long season, and I think what has been the most heartbreaking part about this team is just how many times they have all been in the top 15, top 12, top 10, and like you said, just accidents happen. I mean, my goodness, what was it, Phoenix? I don't think a single one of the trucks wound up finishing the race, so definitely a slap to them in the points there. But they've got the talent, they've shown the speed, Jake, and like I said, they can easily go through at any point in time, turn this whole season around. Now, Jake, another team that's definitely looking to go through and turn their season around here just a little bit is the home team, Speed Racing Network. The 9 of Tevin Whitner, the 24 of Taylor Smith, the 90 of Corey Knight, the 92 of Rob Yost, and the 93 of Brad Yonkman.
Absolutely, this is another team. They've really had a ton of hard luck this season so far. There's guys that should have had better runs and just getting caught up again, kind of just reiterating, bad mistakes and just bad luck and what it can do for you as a team, man. It just makes it a lot harder to really reel down a team that kind of just seems to be hitting on all cylinders. And it's tough. I mean, it really is, that obviously every single team can't be running up front and things like that. And that's just the nature of racing and things like that. So, but you never know, they could get rejuvenated and have, one heck of a second half to the season.
Yeah, Jake, and I tell you, another team that's having a heck of a season right now is Bronco Motorsports. Right now, they're down to 4 guys here, and you've got Michael York there in the 81, Cole Martin, our last 2 weeks winner here in the 85, and Jake, he was so close to making that 3 in a row at Las Vegas. You have Brian Crocker in the 86, and Andrew Harris with 1 win there in the 87. So this is a group that, the team standings don't show it, but they have had a lot of success so far in this short season.
Yeah, you definitely hit the nail on the head there, Dean. They've not had the team standings luck, but man, that they are quick every single week with Cole Martin and Andrew Harris leading the way, winning a ton of races. So far this season, and I think there's just going to be more of that. With the speed those two have really shown, and hopefully it trickles down into Michael York and Brian Crocker being able to get better finishes for themselves. And again, it rolls into tank racing as well for their truck series team. They've got Vincent Cortez, who's trying to make a push for the playoff. They've got quick drivers, Josh Mueller, Jeremy Duncan, as well as Walter Lepicki. And again, it's just kind of it's just been a down year. These guys, it's not like they're not quick enough or strong enough at tracks. It's just I feel like it's moral of the story for a lot of these teams is just hard luck and being at the wrong place at the wrong time and getting caught up in some accidents and things like that. And it can just really, ruin a race and get you in a bad mood that makes you make a mistake maybe later on in the race.
Yeah, Jake, and kind of rounding it out here in terms of guys who've just kind of made some mistakes here and there this season. Not even so much the mistakes, but kind of rounding out the bottom of the points here. You got David Swift in the 13, Josh Witt in the 16, Cody Madden, who's been close many times to winning here in the 17, the 19 of Justin Kruckman, and the 115 of Jeffrey Stewart. These guys are primed, Jake. It's sooner or later they're going to get that breakthrough win. It's just a matter of who and where.
Absolutely. And speaking of who and where, we're going to have our independent drivers show up here on this screen right now. So these are guys that have jumped down from the Xfinity Series, or they just might be independent drivers. They don't run for a team. So we got the 7 of John Doc Holliday, the 42 of Kevin Winker, the 48 of Evan Scott, and the 84 of Nathaniel Mann, who's jumping down from the Xfinity Series for Bronco Motorsports. So these guys are really quick, Dean. I expect to see the 48 and the 84 up front, kind of battling for this lead. And just real quick, before we jump to this next slide, Dean, I don't know if you know this or not, but before we go any further in the show, I just wanted to break some news to you about our own team at Roell Smith Racing for tomorrow night at Bristol Motor Speedway in the Xfinity Series. Just want to announce, buddy, you're going to be driving the number 5 Toyota Camry, sponsored by Sheets and Days Inn.
Oh man, well, I'm glad that some sponsorship came on board. I would kind of hope that we could possibly go through and maybe make it a bow tie. It's kind of weird because I've actually got a little different of a car planned for tomorrow night, but that one might definitely wind up seeing the track in the future. I don't know who in the world you managed to get to work on that, but they have a very vivid imagination, and I love it, man. I love it. That might wind up being the new wallpaper moving forward for my computer.
Yeah, I got to shout out the graphics guys back at RSR, Roell Smith Racing. Did a heck of a job there, but enough of the fun, man. Just jumping into it here at Bristol. Our qualifying session is ended. So that means our grid is finished up here. We got Corey Saucier on the pole for R&D Motorsports. We got Matt Johnson in the 61 for Jonathan Byer Racing. Nathaniel Mann, one of our independent drivers I just spoke about, in third place. Got Cole Martin from Bronco Motorsports in fourth. And rounding out the top five is Nathan Nixon in the 33 for Rev Racing.
Yeah, Jake, from there we have Evan Scott in sixth from Filthy Five, one of our temporary drivers. Jose Castellanos from Stryker Motorsports in seventh. Michael Madden, you talked about him a little earlier there, for Rev Racing in eighth. Vincent Cortez in ninth for Tank Racing. Brandon Domain, another Stryker Motorsports car, in 10th. Mike Mosby for R&D Motorsports in 11th. Always good to show up there for the home crowd. And then Byron McDonald there rounding out our top 12. So, Jake, buddy, you know how I feel about this track. You know that this is hands down my favorite place to run a race. I've been practicing here a little bit this week. I never had a chance to go through and sit down in a truck this week to see how they drive, but if it's anything like what I've seen at Bristol in years past, man, this is going to be one heck of a show here for this 125 laps.
It definitely is. It's going to be one heck of a race, man. I'm excited to get this thing kicked off, but before we go any further, man, I'm going to leave it up to you and Daniel Ballard to give us your picks for tonight's race here for the Rocky Top 125 at Bristol.
Oh, man, Jake, I'll let Ballard make his pick first since he helped open the show up a little bit. Daniel, who you got tonight, buddy?
Oh, man. That's a little bit of a tough choice. You got Cole Martin. He's been coming on strong here the past few weeks, but, we're coming to a different style of track here, and, I hate to be that guy, but, he sits it on the pole, and, he's been fast everywhere we go, and he's just had some tough breaks lately, but I think he goes back to victory lane. I'm taking that 3 truck.
Well, I think the old racing motto goes, and I think you, I, and Jake can all agree on it, buddy. If it ain't broke, we ain't going to try to fix it here. And, man, I got to take Cole Martin tonight. He's sitting there on that outside lane in the second row. Got that pretty Shoney's truck painted up here good this evening. He's driving angry from that Las Vegas race a few weeks ago. I think he gets it done for the third week in a row here tonight.
Man, those are solid picks, man. Two guys that have won a lot so far this season. So you're going to leave me with a little bit of a curveball to pick here. Might shock you guys, but I think I'm going to roll tonight with the 61 truck of Matthew Johnson, qualifying P2. He, as the three of us all know, man, this guy was able to get himself into the playoffs last season in Mid-South Madness and be a part of that Final Five. So I think Matt Johnson gets it done tonight in that 61 truck.
Not a crazy pick there, Jake. I almost picked that man in myself.
Well, guys, I tell you what, it's my favorite racetrack in the entire world. The pace car is about to pull off here at the last great Colosseum. Corey Saucier is going to be on the gas. Green flag coming out here for the Rocky Top 125. Trucks are green as they head for turn 1.
Well, they're definitely green, man. And Matt Johnson almost maybe spun the tires or just missed a shift or was a little asleep, but Corey Saucier right now is going to pull away from the field a bit. But Matt Johnson gathers it back up. He's going to be in second as they come out of full.
Vincent Cortez is going to go around.
Oh, man, we got big junk out of 4. The yellow's for sure out. That was about 12th on back, I'd say, boy.
Oh, man. Well, guys, that's definitely a tough one there to see at the start. It's tough here at Bristol, guys. I mean, it's a half-mile little bowl here, but let's take a look at the Sandwich Band Racing and Sports Memorabilia Rec replay just to see what happened here. You can look these guys up on Shopify as well. Let's take a look and see what happened here, boys.
Let's go ahead and we see him heading down into turn 3. Vincent Cortez on the inside. Kind of wonder if he had a little too much rear brake in it, just broke the truck out from underneath him, and around she went, and it went for a spin, and unfortunately collected some guys that tried avoiding it, and we see a lot of trucks tore up here early on, lap 2.
Yeah, Jake, those fast repairs are going to come in handy super early here. Let's just look. Oh, man, I swear, it almost looks like Cortez on the way into the corner. I don't know if he just had way too much rear brake in the car and it just tried to break loose on him or what, but just looked like as soon as he started that turn in, that truck just did not have the traction at all.
Yeah, guys, you talk about those fast repairs. I'm looking through the field here, and we've got a lot of trucks already here that are going to be, if not using fast repairs, man, they've got some damage to fix. So, I mean, as you can see there with that replay, everybody just getting bottled up.
Yeah, I mean, they were stacked up right there. I think 4 wide crossing the start-finish line, trying to get around that wreck. And like you said, man, you know, Vincent Cortez, I see him getting lapped down right now, sitting in pit lane. And that's kind of the struggle about Bristol is, you know, if you try to fix the damage, man, you don't have much time because on a half-mile track, these pace laps are way shorter than, you know, 1.5 miles, 2 mile, or even somewhere like Phoenix where it's even a little bit longer. So you got to be quick, and, you know, it's pretty early to be using fast repairs. Obviously, you see him use that one, or use one there, right there. There's just 125 laps. We wreck on lap 2. You know, it's risky.
Yeah, and honestly, guys, I mean, when you have a 125 lap race like this, and this is not to take anything away from our truck series drivers, you know, these guys have a little lower I rating than what you or I or anybody else really in our groups there respectively, between Daniel in the Xfinity series and Jake, you and I in the Cup series. And sometimes with it there could be a little inexperience that comes at a track like this, and when it comes to that inexperience, it can be a little harder to miss these wrecks, a little harder to keep these trucks underneath you. And usually it's like any other racing series, the cream is going to rise to the top. But right now, Corey Saucier, I mean, he definitely saw he saw exactly what it meant to go through, have the pole, go out and jump to the front. And in our chat, we've got Amston63 says, you guys pick the same guys every week. Well, there's a reason behind that. These are the fast guys. Why would we break tradition here?
No, history doesn't, or history tends to repeat itself, man. It's hard not to go with these guys. That's why I picked Matt Johnson, someone different this week. So, but, you know, I got to ask you guys, if this thing starts to turn into a caution fest, I mean, do you see our leaders even needing to pit?
No, not at all, Jake. And the thing is, when it comes to something like that in terms of, you know, a potential of a lot of yellow flags, I mean, the tires are going to wear down here very quickly at Bristol if we get under green conditions. You know, it can definitely hurt you on a restart. But unless you go through and you start getting a long green flag run, I expect most of these guys, whoever wins this race may not even pit. But the pace car is off. Corey Saucier's got the field in his hands again. He's going to get the big jump. Cole Martin's going to get right in behind him here. He may clear Matt Johnson as they head for turn number 1.
Yeah, Cole Martin with a great restart. He's going to try to jump to the outside early on in the middle of 1 and 2. He clears Matt Johnson. So Cole Martin quickly getting up to P2, trying to make quick work of this field and get himself back up to the front like we've seen these last few weeks in that 85 truck. But Matt Johnson, man, right on that tailgate of that 85, he's saying, hey, you might have just pulled that move into 1, but I'm just as fast, trying to make a move now into the inside, into 3.
Yeah, Jake, and with these cold tires right now, it's going to be hard to pass. I mean, you got to let these temperatures come up just a little bit. Right now, you see these guys kind of up here rim riding, and you know, dangerous territory here at Bristol because you can go up, get in that wall a little bit, and just kind of fire off. But right now, it looks like these guys are going to try to get single file pretty well, mostly the entire racetrack around. As Corey Saucier just kind of boot scooting away right now just a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on right here. If Cole Martin's going to wind up closing in on him any at all.
Yeah, and you see, you know, we had that first yellow lap 2. We're already on lap 12 this time by. So laps just click off real quick here when we are under green. So if this thing stays green, you know, it could end quickly. But let's hope for that. We don't want to see it turn into a caution fest. But I'll tell you what, if you ask me, it seems Matt Johnson's a little bit quicker than Cole Martin right now. He's just trying to, or having a hard time get around him. And that's the thing here with Bristol. It's all about running the top, and it's really hard to pass, and it's going to take throwing a huge slider into one of these corners and kind of parking it up in front of the guy, making him check up or, you know, run into the back of you. So we'll see what Matt does here, maybe buys his time a little bit and just kind of rides behind Cole early on in this thing.
Yeah, and got a little trouble back here. Looks like Cody Riggs getting a little loose. You know, look at the damage on the back end of that Ford. But yeah, Jake, I mean, these laps click off super fast here. I mean, you're dealing with about 15 seconds a lap. It does not take very long. You got these big high banks. I mean, you're just kind of throwing these trucks in here lap after lap. And I really think when you have fresh tires, very close battle here between Cody Madden.
We got a yellow car wrecking right on the backstretch in front of our leader, Corey Saucier. as he caught up to the tail end of the lead lap. That could have been danger right there.
Yeah, Jake, and you're right. It does not take long at all to wind up catching up to the back of this field. Looks like James Kerr might have been the source of our yellow flag here. I'll tell you what, Jake, that's a pretty good-looking truck right now. That is a very good-looking truck.
Yeah, it kind of gives me a little vibes of the Brad Keselowski GoDaddy car. Just the black, the lime green, and the pink. But we're going to check out our Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec replay here and see what brought out our second yellow of this race. And make sure to check them out on Shopify. They've got great deals on die-cast, things like that. And you see James Kerr get to the inside. I believe that's into one. Kind of does a little Tokyo drift through 1 and 2. Gets onto the apron, and you see him blink out. Just iRacing thing right there. And around he goes. And that's just what brings out a yellow here at Bristol.
Yeah, huge transition right there from the apron to the actual track itself, Jake. And I'm not certain here. Look at him. He's trying to save it. He's trying for everything to save it. Getting out of the throttle, and then he just kind of goes to gas it back up, and that thing's still just very upset in the rear suspension and goes around on him. Daniel Bowler, we talked to you here a couple nights ago in regards to the Xfinity series with practice going through this week. You know, we got to talk to you about how loose these cars really started to feel at the start of a run, but then they tightened up. And, right now you're just kind of thinking maybe this is just a result of just still some tire pressures coming up, or what did you really see in your Xfinity practice that you may be able to kind of tell the fans at home what these cars are doing tonight?
Yeah, I haven't got to do, a whole lot of practice myself, so I'm still learning a little bit of some different things. But, I think the Xfinity cars, they tend to seem, for me anyways, to be a little bit tight, just from the very beginning. I haven't got the chance to run these trucks here much at all. From what I've talked to some of these drivers out here tonight, they seem to handle a little better, maybe a little bit loose there at the beginning of the run, like we saw Vincent Cortez. When you try to really pinch that truck to the bottom of the track, it can really step out from underneath you if you're not careful.
Yeah, and it's so guys, I'm going to tell you here, and I can't preach it enough how much of my favorite track that this is here at Bristol. I've got a lot of great memories here. I was here for the snow race back in 06, and actually I was just here this past weekend for the Bristol Dirt Nationals. And I can tell you, when it comes to these trucks and these light rear ends that they have on them, trying to get that power down, they don't have quite the power band that our Cup cars and the Xfinity cars have. But when they really try to get into that power and you've got a little lack of rear grip, these things just go around. There's nothing you can do to save them. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's real tough. In any three of the NASCAR stock cars they got, being able to drive it around Bristol Motor Speedway, it takes a lot of talent and a lot of practice, like we've said. But we're going to get this thing going green this time by. We're going to be on lap 22 when we take the green of 125. So we're almost a fifth of the way done here tonight. And we've seen our leaders stay out. So I guess they're just gambling, hoping it stays green. I wouldn't have pit that yellow, but it makes you wonder if we go about halfway on a little bit of a long run if these guys stay out.
Somebody keep an eye on here, guys. I was just looking, Kyle Wimble started in the 31st position. He's up to 17th so far, so let's see what he can do.
Yeah, and Corey Saucer gets back on the gas here. I tell you what, he surprised me a little bit these last few starts, guys, because he's been choosing that bottom line. Leader can pick the outside line if they'd like, and he's taking that inside line. It's worked out well for him each time. He's got an even gap. Cole Martin has an even gap pretty well between himself, Corey Saucier, and Matt Johnson there in third. But Corey Saucier just on that loud pedal, hitting that perfect groove and just taking off here at Bristol.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, he's out to almost or over a half a second lead, and he's just starting to pull away every lap. A little goes by, and he's just widening that gap to second place. Cole Martin. It kind of so far right now, it seems to be a three-truck race though between Corey Saucier, Cole Martin, and Matt Johnson. All three of our picks. How convenient. But like Daniel said, man, we've got guys starting to move through the field. Kevin Winker started 29th. He's up to 14th. Kyle Wimble, like you said, Bowler, started 31st. He's in 16th. As well as John Doc Holliday, man, started 23rd. He's up to 13th place. So We've got guys that probably obviously avoided that big wreck we saw early on, and they're starting to drive their way through this field. So
car in the wall, 224. Ooh, that was close. Sorry, Jake, didn't mean to interrupt.
No worries at all. I mean, yeah, that's just how quick it happens. Even as broadcasters, man, we got to step on each other's toes when things happen on the track. As you saw the 224, but this is where it gets dicey. You can almost see 3 wide right there.
Yeah, and Jake, that's the tough part here at Bristol, man, picking the lanes, because you're back there in traffic, you're trying to navigate everything, and that high line may look like it's moving, but then that low line can start to move a little bit. This high lane in what you will call the closest thing to clean air we will see tonight, it's going to be the place to go. But I'll tell you what, we've got about 6 laps here since the start of the green flag, and right now with our leader Corey Saucier here, very, very soon, he's going to be coming up on lap traffic. The first car on the lead lap is Taylor Smith there in 31st, and he's about 12 and a half seconds behind these guys. It takes about 15 seconds. You can see that you're coming up on this lap traffic very shortly. And
we got a car right in the wall, right in front of them. I believe that's the 9 of Tevin Whitner, right in front of our leader. It is the 9 of Tevin Whitner hit the wall outside of turn 4. That's a scary sight. We got a big wreck.
Oh, big wreck, turn 3. Corey Saucer's got to be on the binders hard. Oh, wow, he missed it. What a job, Corey Saucier. Oh, man, that is going to be a good one for the Sandwich Man Racing and Sports Memorabilia Wreck replay here, Jake. After we see what happened in the wreck, I want to see Corey Saucier's on board just to kind of see what it looked like from his point of view.
That could be nomination for Save of the Year right there. But yeah, we see on board again the 75 truck here, James Kerr from Jonathan iRacing, coming out of turn 2, coming down the back. Looks to be okay, and then all of a sudden you hear,
wow, he had nowhere to go. Oh man,
oh my goodness, hard.
Yeah, that wreck started before that. I wonder what happened with Bobby to have caused that. Let's see, he's down here on the inside. He's coming off of turn 2. Oh man, wrong place, wrong time, guys. He had a guy trying to go low to pass that 5 car and just kind of cut across his nose. And oh man, that 18 truck is killed.
Wow, so our leaders all just went down pit lane, and the only guy I believe that stayed out is going to be the 61 of Matt Johnson. I know we're still showing that wreck, but that's just something I'm seeing right now out of the booth here. Kind of interesting. The whole field comes down, and you stay out.
I want to see Corey. Oh, here's Corey Saucier's on board. So he has that lap truck to his inside. That was Tevin Whitner. He's going to work his way down here off of turn 2. He sees the smoke in front of him, and it takes him a minute to really get into the brakes. He gets on the binders hard, moves up, moves down. I think if anything right there, Jake, he has Bobby Anderson to thank for holding the brakes there up on the high side until everybody had gotten past.
And you got to imagine, I think those two are teammates, aren't they, Daniel?
I believe those two are teammates, so hopefully there's some good communication going on there in the Discord. Hopefully, just save Corey Saucier's race there.
Yeah, I don't think you could fit a sheet of paper in between those two trucks when Corey Saucier came around to pass or to navigate his way through that wreck. But man, that was close. And we see Corey Saucier, who was our leader, went down pit lane. He's got 5 guys in front of him that stayed out. So this is going to put our top 3 guys and everyone behind him in an unfamiliar spot on this restart.
Yeah, and Jake, I don't think it's going to be too unfamiliar. Like I said, I think it's going to take him a couple minutes for these tires to get up to pressure. But, I mean, Corey Saucier has definitely shown the ability to navigate this track tonight. When we saw that wreck just a moment ago, I'll tell you a little piece of advice I had. So I actually have gotten to drive on the real Bristol Motor Speedway before, and in doing so, I was basically told, if you see a yellow flag, if you hear that yellow is out, you look immediately in your mirror. If you don't see smoke in your mirror, that means the wreck is in front of you and it's time to get on the binders hard. And that's what happened there with Corey Saucier, and he managed just to get on him just enough to get that truck out of danger.
Yeah, it definitely was. And here we go. We got Matt Johnson going to be leading this thing. Andrew Harris in the 87 truck, P2. Nathaniel Mann in the 84. One of our independent drivers going to be 3rd. Jeremy Duncan in the 79 from Tank Racing. And then our 5th place guy is going to be our leader of the race before we had that yellow, Corey Saucier. So we've seen Corey and Cole have really good pace with Matt Johnson, on even tires. And Now it's going to be a battle here to see what these two guys can do with the 4 trucks in front of them that did not pit.
Watch this wheel spin here out of these front few guys here, Jake. This pace car is going to hit pit road. Matt Johnson's got the field in his control, and he heads for turn number 1. Going to move straight up to that high line and just start trying to check out over everybody else. Everything starts to jumble up a little bit. Cole Martin back there a little further. We've got oh, man, I don't know who that was, but got right in the, I couldn't tell if he got in the door of Cole Martin or if he saved it. 3 wide's not going to work here at Bristol.
No, it's not. You got to be very careful. And I mean, if you're one of these guys that were out front and you've just pit, man, you got to be very patient.
Oh, here we go. Big wreck off turn 2. We've got our parking lot coming.
If you're one of these leaders, you're going to catch up to that quick. You got to be.
Guys, you got to hit the brakes. No, man. Oh, my goodness.
Holy macaroni and cheese, boys. This is, I mean, we thought it was a parking lot of Phoenix, man.
I think everybody, including the pace car, may have been involved in that one.
That was ugly, man. I mean, you know, when the caution comes out here, like I told you, you got to look in that mirror. If it's not in front of you, you need to get on those binders because you just can't see through this turn 1 and 2. And here on the Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay, I'm interested to see what happened here. Just I couldn't tell if someone got turned or if someone got loose and then it just stacked up, but it just turned into no problems to a lot of problems in one quick brief moment.
And just carnage happened so quick. Guys checking up and guys behind them not able to get on the brakes, and just tons of trucks running into this thing. I mean, you would count there about 10, 12, I mean, maybe even 15 trucks involved. I mean, damage this early. And you got to imagine some of these guys probably have already used one of their fast repairs. We see Doc Holliday, I'm not sure, the 66, I believe that was, got a little loose underneath them, and then the 48, 224. A lot of trucks just getting out of shape there out of turn 2, and I mean, the rest is history right there.
I want to see a blimp view real quick from Jonathan Byer diving down in here, Jake, because the rate of speed on these trucks is so fast. And I don't know, he kind of dives down here to the inside, and in doing so, he washes up the track, gets into the 7. This wreck was about to happen anyway because the 48 winds up in the 224, and man, it just, everything kind of sets off, but that's Bristol. I mean, that's just Bristol short track racing on these high banks.
It really is, and you know, it kind of just looked like Jonathan Byer might have thought the 7 of Doc Holliday was going to be a little bit higher in the middle of that corner than he was, and that's what caused the contact between those two trucks, which sent, you know, the whole back half of the field, I'd say, around and involved in a wreck. But back up front, man, we got the 87 of Andrew Harris from Bronco Motorsports leading this thing. Matt Johnson was in the lead, but ended up deciding to pit.
May not have been a bad call. I mean, you know, you went from the lead to half the field wrecking right there, so that may not have been a bad call for tires right there.
Yeah, doing the calculations here, you know, a fuel run, I believe, is about 77 laps is what I'm being told. So that's going to put, you know, your fuel window should open up around lap 48. So, you know, pitting here possibly could be a little too early unless somebody thinks they're going to stretch it, you know. Otherwise, I don't know if he's thinking tires were going to hurt him, but, you know, an interesting call there.
That's not the same fuel calculator that good old Jake Roell may have had down in Daytona, was it, Daniel?
No, I've since purchased my own, and you know, I get that baby tuned up every week, so we should be pretty accurate here.
There's a lot I would trust Jake Roell to do. Win me some races, lead on some 1.5-mile tracks, but when it comes to fuel mileage calculations, I will trust just an educated guess over that.
Well, I don't know if you do remember, but Homestead in the Cup Series, I believe I did win that race on fuel strategy. So we'll end that battle there. We'll put the fire out before it gets too hot. And up front, man, Andrew Harris is going to lead us to green. 87 truck kind of gets a little bit of a slow start. You know, those older tires might be the reason for it. Corey Saucer hanging tough on the outside.
Yeah, Corey's going to get to his outside here. I don't know if he's going to have the car. Paul Martin goes around. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, he gets nailed again by the 79. By the 5. Here we go. Parking lot P2.
Yeah, and I think Cole's going to have to tow it. I think we saw the smoke from his engine bay, and he had he blew his engine. That's really going to hurt his chances here because he's going to have to tow. It's just tough to see from one of our front runners.
Yeah, Jake, I'm not sure what happened here. I think this was new tires versus old tires, and Cole just wound up going around. Let's definitely look here. He's all by himself. Down the back stretch into 3. I think this is coming to the lap of the wreck. Gets a big run down this front straightaway and just goes in. Comes out.
I wonder if there was another truck. Oh, here we are. Oh no, that's the previous wreck.
Oh, that was the previous wreck.
Yeah, our production booth. Here we go. This is gonna be it, boys. You see Cole Martin there, the second truck on the outside of Michael Madden. Those two kind of touch and
Jake,
Cole went.
Yeah, Jake, right there, you as the outside truck, you've got to kind of, you both have an equal respect of one another. If you got the guy on the inside, you got to know how far up you can drive to kind of cut the guy on the outside lane off. If you're the guy on the outside, you got to know how much you can cut off the guy on the inside. And Cole's kind of coming down, Madden's kind of coming up, and man, it just you can't occupy the same space. Cole Martin looks like his night was a big shot. Yeah, and he was in that previous wreck too, Jake. So, yeah, Cole's night just takes a big lick there, man. I mean, like I said, you're trying to get up to speed. You're trying to get as much out of the truck as what you can, but you got to know what's going on around you here when you race at Bristol. And unfortunately, it looks like that may very well end Cole Martin's chances to win this evening.
Yeah, I got to imagine he's going to be a few laps down once he gets his toe time out and then gets back out onto the track. And it's going to be tough getting those lucky dogs because Cole Martin's already 2 laps down. He's got 5 guys in front of him already a lap down. So that's going to be hard work for him. But his teammate right now is loving this thing, the 87, Andrew Harris, leading this thing under our 5th caution of the race.
Yeah, one good thing, though, going for Cole here is he should be able, we're at this fuel window, so should be able to come back out here and he should be good on fuel to the end. So, when he gets back out, you could possibly take the wave arounds and make those laps up the hard way that way, but certainly not going to be able to take the tires if that's going to be a strategy moving forward.
Yeah, guys, I think honestly for these leaders, for Harris, for Saucier, Nathaniel Mon, Madden, Nixon, I think pit stops are done for the night, guys. I think your pit crew was here for one set of tires, and other than that, I think you're done pitting for the night unless you manage to put together a good 30 or 40 lap run.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there, Dean. It's the name of the game tonight, man. It's going to be that track position. You don't want to give it up because you get yourself in bad situations like we've seen so far. We just saw a wreck happen for about 5th place it was. So if you're not one of these front 2, 3, or 4 guys, man, it's tough sledding. But right now, 87 is going to lead us to green here again. Kind of interested, no one has taken the outside. Every single leader on these restarts that shows the inside. It's really going to give Corey a better chance to get this lead. Although he falls asleep on this restart, Andrew Harris in the 87 gets a good run, but his
might have a chance at this off of turn 2, buddy.
Series. Yeah, that's going to be the 85 or 84 Nathaniel Mon in the inside there, but here comes Corey Saucier fighting tough back on the outside in that 3 truck. He's got to be careful here. He's got to be patient, guys.
Yeah, and he's going to dive to the inside here, Jake. We'll see what type of run he gets off the corner, but you just see Andrew Harris pull right up with him. He's going to dive it back in here low again. They're going to come real close to one another, and if I'm Corey, he might have, it doesn't have it yet, but he might get it here diving into turn 1 and off of turn 2.
Yeah, I just think those newer tires for Corey's going to pay off eventually once it happens, and that 87's got quite a bit of damage on the front end of his truck, so I wonder if he's maybe down on power a little bit, and there it is. The 3 truck clears him.
Andrew Harris is going to get in the wall there.
He's going to lose 2 or 3 more spots. I think Nathan Nixon now looking to the inside of him in the 33 truck for Red Racing. But up front, man, again, Corey Saucier retakes this lead as we hit lap 55 of 125. Or 54, my bad.
Yeah, Jake, I mean, they're going to tick off real quick here. Let's go on board with Nathan Nixon just to see what he's looking into. I mean, you can just see how fast these corners come up. You see his rearview mirror, the truck's behind him. He's going to dive it down in here. He's running just a little bit lower of a line than Harris, and It helps him to get off the corner just a little bit, but he's going to get to the inside, and we're just going to see what he can do. I mean, there's a lot of patience that has to take place here. Harris is going to have a natural faster run on the high side, so if you're Nathan Nixon, you just have to be patient, just trying to wait for him to make a mistake and you to pounce on it.
You really do. It's a timing thing. You got to be patient. You can't get yourself too upset over little things like this. Even though this guy's got older tires, a little bit of damage, you got to be patient. Make your moves at the right time, and that's what we're going to see here with our leader now, Corey Saucier, as he catches the end of the lead lap here. As he starts putting guys' laps down, he's got to time this right, pass them at good spots for himself, not put himself in any bad situations.
The patience is one thing here at Bristol, Jake, but I think one of the most important things in terms of how to win here is exactly something I've seen out of Corey Saucier this evening, and that's the ability to run the low line when you need to. Sometimes it can be very, very difficult to go down there, especially with these trucks being a little underpowered compared to the bigger cars, and you just got to know when to make that move. As we go back here just a little bit, Kyle Wimple, you had mentioned him a bit ago there, Daniel. He's all the way up to 8th place now at the line.
Yeah, definitely going to be one to watch. Starting clear back in the 31st position all the way up to 8th here. He's got to have a good truck to be able to do something like that. Not sure when his last pit stop was for sure. We got a
Nathan Nixon. Oh my goodness. One of our top 5 drivers right there was just in front of the whole field right there as they went into one. Wow.
Not happy in the chat, it doesn't sound like. Definitely sounds like he feels like he was turned around.
Well, we're going to see here if that was the case, Daniel, because we have our favorite, the Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay. We're going to see what happens here to this driver of the 33 truck. It looks like he was kind of sitting there in the middle of the track. Coming out of turn 4. Oh, man, bunch of good trucks in that one. Yeah, well, once again, it closes up super fast, and he kind of comes up the track just a little bit. Let's just take another look here at this angle. I mean, he makes some room there underneath the Madden, and it looks like Harris just got a little loose off the corner.
Yeah, I think he's just he's turning it to the left to keep it off the wall out of 4, and just with that much wheel input, it's just going to chase it down the track, and they make contact, and Nathan Nixon gets the bad end of the stick here. And it slams the inside wall on the front stretch here at Bristol. I just think that's just short track racing, man. That's a product of running close on one another's quarter panels. That's what's going to happen every single time we roll into one of these short tracks. And that's what I mean. Tempers are going to start flaring. Guys are going to get upset. Things like that. Hopefully they're able to go back and see it, a replay, because it wasn't that. It wasn't like he meant to do it. It was just Andrew Harris trying to collect his own truck.
Yeah, and the funny thing is here, Jake, a lot of people think when you go to these short tracks like this that you're under a ton of braking the whole time, and it may not necessarily be the case. I mean, with Bristol having these high banks, sometimes they can help slow the vehicles down a little bit. And right there, just not certain there with Andrew Harris if he was trying to control the car off the corner with the gas pedal, or if his hands just got a little wobbly. I mean, there's just so much that it could be there, man, especially you just go from the little bit of banking to no banking to a little bit of banking again. I mean, these suspensions are under a ton of load from the green flag all the way to the checkered.
Yeah, they really are. And, our 2 guys up front right now leading this thing, Corey Saucier and Nathaniel Mon, these 2 haven't pit since lap 18. So if they're trying to stretch it, you got to imagine they're shutting the trucks off under yellow, trying to save every drop of gas to make it to the end. These yellow flags or these cautions with the amount of yellow flags we get, these pace laps, it can really help that strategy. You don't want to be pitting too much because losing track position here is tough, as well as trying to dodge all these wrecks that we've seen so far.
Yeah, and track position, like you said, Jake, definitely being the most of it here. I mean, to kind of put this in perspective, we just crossed the halfway point of this race, even with the yellow flags that we've had. So we've got about a half of it down, got about a half of it left to go here. And so far, that pick of Corey Saucier seems to be the one to go with. But the lights are off on the pace truck. We're going to line up here 2 by 2. 2 trucks that I really want to look at here to see what they do on this here, Jake. We mentioned some guys having some bad luck, so I'm hoping I don't give a broadcaster's curse. But look right there in 4th and 5th, you got 2 Striker Motorsports trucks in Castellanos and Domain.
Don't look past that 6th place driver, in Kyle Wimble, 31st up to 6th. Let's see what he does up here with the leaders now.
And Nathaniel Mon gets caught sleeping here. Corey Saucier on the gas again through the gears. And down into turn 1 we go at Bristol. Castellanos going to have himself a good run here, but it looks like Madden's going to have a chance to file in. He's going to go low on Nathaniel Mon as we work our way around, and that's already that fast 1 lap at Bristol.
Yeah, it's 15 seconds around this joint. It flies by, and, on these restarts, man, if you're lined up next to Corey, like we've seen time and time so far tonight, you gotta hang with him, man. You cannot let him clear you and get to that outside as you head into 1 or into 3, because at that point, man, with his pace he's got in that 3 truck, he's setting sail and he's gone. I mean, he's opened up this thing already to over 3/4 of a second lead, man, and every lap it just continues to grow bigger and bigger for him. Now it's almost a second, so he's 0.2 of a second faster than these guys every single lap. So if you want a winning strategy, man, it's going to be up on the wheel, getting through the gears on one of these restarts.
Oh, the 99 hard on the inside wall.
Oh, the 99 of Mike Mosby just went around again here, guys.
Does the right thing, though. You see him back the truck up as these leaders are coming around, instead of swinging it into the track in front of these guys. So that's always good to see. I believe he's going to have to use a tow there. That truck seems to be out of engine and no power to it.
Now let's take a look here on the Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay here, Jake and Daniel. Let's just see what happens. It looked like that was off of turn 2 down the backstretch. A little bit of a problem spot we've seen tonight for sure. He's on the inside of the 10 of Walt Lepicki. Looks like they're going to head here. Oh man, looks like Lepicki. Looks like he missed it just a little bit. Well, he saved it. He saved it, and then, okay. He saved it.
The left rear quarter panel of Corey Knight as they came off of turn 2. It just sent that truck to the inside wall. You see a couple other trucks kind of get some damage from clipping the 99 of Mike Mosby from R&D Motorsports, but heck of a save to gather the truck up there after getting clipped by the 10, and then
leaders are on pit road.
There we go. We see our pit reporter, Daniel Badler, shouting out. We got our leaders on pit lane, so this kind of changes it up, Dean.
Oh yeah, Jake, it definitely will. Because you're going to have some guys that'll probably try to stay out here. Very long pit road here at Bristol. It's the entire length of the track. You enter off of turn 2, you exit off of turn 1. So let's see what Corey Saucier does here. I have a very good feeling 4 tires and fuel is going to be the call on this 3 truck.
Somebody that's going to play out really well here, guys. Keep an eye on is going to be Andrew Harris. He got in that little incident there with Nathan Nixon just a few laps ago and come down pit road and got his tires. And, we know he should be good on fuel. Going to make up a ton of ground here with the leaders coming down pit road.
And that first place pit stall definitely going to pay off here. Corey Saucier just has to dump the clutch and pull right out here, and so he's going to win that race off of pit road. But up front, looks like Kevin Winker, one of our independents here, running a very nice looking Kyle Larson paint scheme. It's kind of funny because Michael York right behind him, if you look, he's running his own variant of a Kyle Larson paint scheme, and so is Andrew Harrison, the 87, Jake.
Yeah, we got some Kyle Larson fans. Even Michael York, man, that makes me reminds me of Ricky Hendrick's truck. He ran, with that same looking scheme. That's what the 5HendrickCars.com now kind of is based off of. Always a good looking truck. So here we are, man. Gonna have another group of guys that stay out under a yellow, kind of staying out, changing the dynamic of this restart. So it's gonna be interesting to watch as we got guys that have moved their way up front. Kevin Winker started this thing in 29th. You got Andrew Harris, who started 33rd. Jonathan Byer, who's going to be 4th man, started 30th. And Jack Johnson, who will be 5th, started in 28th. So we got guys clawing their way through this field up front now in the top 5.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting here, Jake. We're going to have about 50 laps to go, a little under 50 to go when we go through and get the green. Now, I was looking here. The last time that Winker had pitted was back on lap 33. Now, we've definitely had some caution since then. But, he's sitting here with about about 40. We'll call it 45 laps on his tires when we get to the greens. So I'm definitely looking for this wheel spin up front. If you're one of those guys who pitted, you have got to be eyes up front for this restart here, guys.
Definitely right, Dean. I got to ask you guys, both of you, if you're the leader, man, would you take the outside, or are we crazy thinking these guys keep taking the inside?
I think with these trucks, I think that they're a little bit of an advantage taking the inside, just because you can kind of fold everybody up 2 by 2 behind you, and where they don't have as much power as we see Andrew Harris definitely powering through on the inside of Kevin Winker here for the lead. Those new tires.
Oh, Michael Mann got tagged.
Michael Mann gets tagged. He's going to catch Nathaniel Mon, I believe that was, and send him into the outside wall as we got a parking lot again.
Oh, man. Well, guys, that little logo in our top right corner, I think, is going to make a bigger appearance here again with the Sandwich Man Racing Sports and Memorabilia Rec Replay here in just a moment. Let's take a look and see what happens here with these trucks tightened up here off of turn 4 at Bristol.
Go again, another rec replay. Saw Michael Mann get out of shape. Riding on board with him from the blimp. You see, not sure who that was who was inside, but definitely made contact there. Turns it off the wall. Jack Johnson in the from Jonathan Byer Racing, the 35 truck, got into the 15 and hit the wall, came off the wall, and Nathaniel Mon was absolutely wrong place at the wrong time, getting caught up in some other kind of business in front of him, and it's going to really hurt his chances.
See, guys, that's the big thing here that I have always seen at Bristol is, when you look here at what Michael Madden was doing on the entry of that corner, he didn't so much do anything wrong, right? He had an opportunity. He definitely had track above him, and he was kind of cutting down just a little bit to maybe take away a little bit of that inside line from the 35. And when you do that, sometimes you risk just cutting across someone's nose, and when it happens, I mean, you're the one in the bad spot there usually. I'll tell you what, we're not watching this replay without watching the onboard of Jose Castellanos and how he managed to miss this thing. I, for once, did not curse a driver, and I am absolutely stunned. But just look at all this unfold. He's all on the way off of turn 2. Can't see a thing in front of him. Starts to see him get turned. Starts getting on the binders. He goes high. Truck's in front of him. On the binders some more. Around the outside. All the way around. And he manages to miss that parking lot there off of turn 4.
Around the outside he did, man. Yeah, it was great driving right there by that Ford truck from Striker Motorsports, Jose Castellanos, to avoid that wreck. I'm going to keep him up in the top 10 right now with avoiding that wreck. So that's just how quick it happens here at Bristol. Things... You got to make quick decisions to avoid a wreck, and a heck of a drive right there by the Ford truck to get through that accident.
Yeah, guys, as you can see, it didn't take Andrew Harris long. Jumped right back out there to the lead. Those cautions definitely going to play into his hand here. He's got that track position now, and Corey Saucier, he's behind, I believe, 3 other cars or trucks before he can get back to Andrew Harris. So let's see, is Andrew going to be able to get a good start and drive away from this field, or can Corey run him down?
Yeah, and I think if there's been a time all night to pick the outside, I think it would be right here. You'd have Kevin Winker on your inside with those older tires, and a chance to definitely take off there, especially there's so much wheel spin that happens to a truck on the inside with older tires. To your point you asked me earlier, Jake, would I rather have the outside or the inside? These trucks, they have a very, in my opinion, distinct advantage on the inside, just in the ability to go through and get clear, because they take a little longer to get up to speed. You're not truly up to speed until you come around here to the start-finish line for your second lap. So sometimes that inside can be better the shorter distance around here.
It's something to think about. Obviously it's different in the trucks than what we all drive here. But right now, man, Andrew Harris is going to get out to a sizable lead early on as they go into 1. Corey Saucier got himself, he's got a few trucks in front of him, holding him up a little bit. He's going to get to the outside. It looks like a Mike New York as they head into 3. And Jonathan Byer making a move to the inside of Kevin Winker, but we got a yellow back out already.
Again. Paul Martin around again.
Oh, man, that's tough.
I believe Cody Madden was maybe involved in this as well.
Oh, what are leaders? Oh, man, it's just so scary here when you watch these leaders run up to the back of this wreck, and guys are trying to get going again. before that pace car comes, and makes it really, really scary if you're one of these leaders.
Yeah, guys, let's take a look at this Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec replay one more time here at Bristol. See what happened. Looked like that was off of turn 2 with Cole Martin and Cody Madden. I'm not certain quite what had happened here, but we're going to find out shortly, I am certain.
Cody Madden just kind of riding by himself.
Ooh, looks like, no, Cole got around. Yeah.
Cole Martin was dead sideways on the low line here, so not sure how that happened. Well, here we are. We'll see him down the front stretch to the outside. He's got Mike Lewis to his inside, the 224 Cody Riggs, and there it is.
Got burned. Yeah.
Yeah, a little net code from Mike Lewis's truck sends Cole around, man. It just makes matters worse here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway for that 85 truck.
Hey, Daniel, one question I've got for you, man. Because watching these trucks tonight, you kind of see it. We saw a wreck a little bit ago. Guy from the outside came down on the guy to the inside. And the guy on the outside was perfectly fine, but sometimes you go through, you get those instances where you are the guy on the outside. You think you're getting ready to go around. You just watch the guy loop it on the inside. Right now with what you're seeing in these wrecks, isn't it kind of crazy just how you never know when someone touches which guy's going to be the one to get the worst of it here?
Well, I think here at Bristol, it's just the product of being on the inside. You're turning so hard, to get around the corner and make it the way that you need to. And the guy on the outside has the luxury of turning a little bit less, not as much input into the wheel. And that guy on the inside it's so unfortunate to be him, because you're cranking on the wheel so hard, and then you make contact, and it's just too late to get the car or the truck corrected, I think.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there, Bowdler. Just want to point out the fact, a little storyline here. The 42 truck of Kevin Winker hasn't pit since lap 33, and he's in second place right now. So, he's trying to go almost 92 laps on this set of tires, trying to make it to the end of this thing. I got to imagine he'll be fine on fuel with the amount of yellows we've had since then, but it's going to be about the tires and the fall off those things have, compared to a lot of these guys around him that obviously have hit a lot sooner than him. But I mean, these yellows keep falling the way they have, man. It's all about track position, and he could be looking to have a really great finish here tonight.
Yeah, buddy, and very well could be. I mean, when it comes to these caution flags, he could be sitting right in the catbird seat, running there in second. We may wind up going through, and you never know. When you're Andrew Harris, you're not out of the woods yet, man. Yes, you've got fresh tires, but I can tell you for a fact, in some practice here this week, you get a few laps on these tires and you try restarting, there is so much wheel spin that comes from that inside lane, just not quite as much banking down there. So, like I said, we got less than 40 laps to go here, Daniel, Jake, but it's nowhere by any means over here at the world's fastest half mile.
No, it's not. But if you're Andrew Harris, man, it's go time right now. You got to get going.
And he do.
Get a great restart. Yeah, he definitely does on the gas, getting through the gears really well. Pulls out to another good 5, 6, 7 truck lengths lead over Kevin Winker, who's kind of falling back now on those older tires. Going to let Corey Saucier get up to P3. Jonathan Byer in the 66, man. Haven't talked about him much all night. Now he's P2, kind of running down Andrew Harris. So, another new face up front. Oh, we got Big Wreck though in the middle of 1 and 2. Definitely going to bring the yellow out.
Oh, Matt Johnson around.
No yellow though. There it is.
There it is.
Oh,
parking lot.
Still have people piling in.
Jonathan Byer almost just wrecked all by himself up front too. Not even involved in that wreck. Oh, our leader. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Jake, I have no idea how many trucks got involved with that one, but let's take a look at the Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec replay and just see how many we can pick out here. That was rough to watch.
It wasn't. I want to go back after we see this here. So that's I believe that's the 35 of Josh Johnson, or Jack Johnson. I apologize. And the 91 of Kyle Wimble to the inside. Trucks going all over the place here, man. Byron McDonald, I believe the 23, got into the back. Oh yeah, kind of driving through them there into 1 and just around the hell went, man. And I mean, it's like a blender of wrecking happening there.
All right, guys. I gotta say, we gotta go back. You were just starting to say it there, Jake. We gotta go back and watch Michael Madden's view of this coming through that wreck, because I believe he did not touch a thing and made it through that.
Here we are on board with Michael Madden, the 15 of Rev Racing. You see it happening up in front, and he's still hasn't really checked out fully and gets through it. Heck of a drive right there by Michael Madden getting through that thing. Fortunate enough.
Beautiful piece of driving.
That's a beautiful piece of driving. Now, guys, maybe I'm just a little different there because, you know, something like that, like I said, the wrecks happened fast at Bristol. It almost looked like he had originally started seeing the wreck. He had started getting down to the inside there. And from that point, I'd kind of expect a driver just to go ahead and be holding the brake there. But he, you know, he kind of kept it on the gas. And I don't know, like I said, maybe that was an issue of a spotter not calling it out to him. He might not have noticed that the wreck was happening. He might have thought that they were going green. But when those instances happen, man, all drivers have to be ready to lock these things down to try and not pile in there and make another parking lot. I'll tell you what here, Jake, we've seen him up front all night. Why don't we try to get Andrew Harris up here in the booth just to see what's going on in his mind right now?
Sounds like a plan. We're working on getting our leader, Andrew Harris, up here in the booth.
Andrew Harris, this is Dean Brummett, Daniel Bowdler, and Jake Roell up in the Speed Racing Network booth. How's it going this evening, buddy?
Oh, this has been interesting.
Yeah, no joke. We've been watching you up front pretty well all night, and you know, you have perplexed all three of us here in this booth for one reason this evening. We keep seeing you go to the inside for your restarts when you got the option for the outside. Any particular reason that inside line's been your choice all night?
We have the option to take the outside.
Well, you have a first here in the
yes,
Speed
you
Racing
do.
Network booth. I have broken news to a driver. Yes, Andrew, just announce it on the radio, and you have the option to take the outside on any restart as the leader.
I had no idea. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
We're going to see him go to the outside here.
Yeah, well, it's a little late now with the lights off on the pace truck, but Andrew, we'll get you back here to your team with these cautions. Good luck, and we'll see what happens on the next restart.
Guys.
Hey, thank you, buddy. Man, I just love being that guy here, Jake, to kind of break the news. And a good comical moment here in the booth as Andrew Harris learns a new rule here in Speed Racing Network this season.
Exactly, just like that. You know, it was like how we kicked the show off, breaking some news to another driver like yourself. But again, Andrew Harris going to get a great restart. Jonathan Byer going to keep Corey Saucier behind him. So these two trucks are what's holding Corey Saucier back from getting back up front, where we saw him, you know, dominating the first half of this race.
And if I'm Corey Saucier, the only thing I want to see right now as this race goes green is he moves up into second. He definitely has some speed in that number 3 truck tonight, as he's going to hunt down Andrew Harris here in the 87. It's getting down to the nitty gritty here, Jake. And here in just a few short minutes, when you take 30 laps at Bristol, if we stay green in 5 minutes, we're going to have a checkered flag.
Yeah, we will. It's just a matter of these guys not bringing out the yellow. But right now, man, Corey Saucier not really running much faster than Andrew Harris. They're running even lap time, so Corey's got to figure something out to get himself back up front. Andrew's got about a half-second lead on him. That time by, Corey was a little bit quicker than Andrew, so closing the gap little by little. But like you said, Dean, man, these laps roll off real quick here at Bristol.
Oh, for sure, Jake. And, Brandon Domain and Castellanos going to get bottled up just a little bit there. But Kevin Winker, I tell you what, he is still holding strong here in this third spot. Even though those tires have some age on them, he is just giving it everything he has. Oh, that's going to be close getting down into turn 3. It looked like Michael York was just in a 4-wheel slide and managed to keep it out of Jose up there on the outside.
Yeah, they definitely did. These guys are doing a heck of a job keeping their trucks off one another, not to bring out a yellow. Some up front, though, man, the distance hasn't changed, but what I see out the front for Andrew Harris is lap traffic going to be coming into play here in a few laps. So
trouble front straightaway, the 10 car ball will pick you around. He gets it straightened back out here, and that was a violent looking hit, guys. I was about to make the comment a minute ago with these cameras, the way that they're fixed around this track, gets you a little dizzy, but I'd say he's going to be a lot dizzier here on this onboard with the Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay. Let's take a look and see what happens here with old Walt. Coming down the back straightaway, going to enter turn 3. Everything looks fine right here. The 97 truck just Oh yeah, just he was a slower truck, and I think honestly he knew that he was beat right there, and he was trying to pick a lane as to where to go to. He originally was going to go high there for the 97, but saw another truck coming up behind him with an even faster rate of speed, and just let's look here.
The 97 of Sean Kozier gets into the left rear of Walt Lepicki, and around Lepicki goes. I want to know if we can get the 7 truck.
There's one on his roof. I don't know how we missed that.
That's the 7 truck of Doc Holliday. If our production booth can back this up and get on board with Doc Holliday, we'll see what happened right here. So here we go. Through middle 3 and 4, the wreck's going to be happening in front of him on the front stretch. Gets turned and goes to Yeetville, as you would say, Dean.
That was a spicy flip, if I have ever seen it. And if you weren't dizzy before watching our camera angles, you're dizzy now. I'm just interested to see what happened, because it looked like he started checking up for it a little bit, Jake, and like you said, just got turned from the back. Let's see if that's the case. Oh,
just
man.
Kind of squeezed the 91 of Kyle Wimble into the wall, and that's what sent Doc Holliday spinning and flipping through the air like a gymnast during the Olympic competitions.
I think the term, "Yup, I'm flying through the air, this is not good," comes to mind, Jake.
Well, without a doubt. That's definitely going to end Doc Holliday's night, with towing and having to get a faster pair if he's even got one left. Probably going to be sitting in pit lane for the rest of this thing. But we're going to only have 18, 19 laps, 18, probably 17 laps to go once we do go back racing under green. And right now, man, the story of the night is going to be, does Corey Saucier have enough to get around Andrew Harris on this restart?
Yeah, and that's going to be the big thing right now. Like I said, in breaking the news to Andrew Harris, he now knows that he can restart on the outside if he wants to. So, he's seen how strong Corey is. It's going to be interesting to see what his decision is here on this restart. If he chooses the outside lane, he's got the opportunity for whoever the truck is behind him to possibly get pulled around Corey here, get to his outside. When you got a man who's second in points with 3 wins right now, Jake, you got to do what you can to try and go up there and beat him in whatever way you can. And right now, he's held him off. But, he is taking the outside lane this time, guys.
And there it is. So we break the news for Andrew Harris, and he's going to utilize that new knowledge for himself. Starting on the outside on this restart, going to be interesting to see, because, we saw Corey all those times start on the inside when he was a leader and, had really, really good restarts. So we're about to find out what these two guys have for one another on this restart.
Oh, yeah. Watch when this pace car pulls off here, Jake. It's going to be super interesting. Pace car's getting ready to pull off. The field's in the hands of the 87. He gets on the gas, clears Corey Saucier easy as they head for turn number 1.
As they barrel down into turn 1 here at Thunder Valley, Corey Saucier has really just got to keep him in his sights, not let him get out too far, because obviously you've seen how quick the laps go away for these drivers if we are under green flag racing, and the yellow is back out.
That again. Mike Lewis, oh my goodness.
The 115 of Jeffrey Stewart.
Jake, I know Mike Lewis has had some rough races this year, but I tell you what, my favorite part when we get to see him on camera is those purple chrome wheels that he's got on that 5 car. Those are always fun to watch.
Yeah, he's got that 5. He's got that 5 truck, man. I don't know if you know this, Dean, but Mike Lewis actually paints quite a few things in real life. Helmets, Beats headphones, or JBL headphones and JBL products for a ton of athletes and things like that. He actually has somewhat of a contract with JBL to do special paints on things like that. But Jeffrey Stewart, you see, hit the inside wall, kind of bounce back up in front of Mike. Mike had nowhere to go, man. I mean, Mike's having a good run here tonight, running 21st. Got himself still on the lead lap. So, Mike Lewis is kind of unfortunate, wrong time. Walt Lepicki kind of got into the 115, and thankfully for Lewis, barely hit the 115.
Well, Jake, I tell you what, after a race like this tonight, and going to Bristol this weekend for the Dirt Nationals and getting to see what this track looks like covered in dirt, down the backstretch here at Bristol Motor Speedway, they have actually added a new fan attraction. It's a little moonshine bar down there, and I have a feeling one of their big mason jars full of peach moonshine Margarita is probably going to be the first thing some of these drivers are going to want to get to after this race tonight in terms of just not having gone their way. And I have a feeling Andrew Harris up front right now, he's going to want one of them just to celebrate with if this keeps up.
Yeah, but you got to be careful, Dean. We got to make sure our drivers are 21 years or older. You can't have any of that, Dean. But yeah, maybe they got a Shirley Temple or something like that for any of our drivers underneath or under the age of the legal drinking age here in the United States. So we'll find out. Maybe we get to ask Andrew Harris if he won a Shirley Temple or maybe a or if he does want one of them moonshine margaritas like I know you were down in this past weekend.
Well, that was the joy of it here, Jake. While we definitely do not encourage it, I remember when I was a kid, and I'd say probably when you were too in high school, that 21 was more of a suggestion than anything.
I will not say anything, but Daniel Bowder, man, how's it looking down there on pit lane?
It's going pretty quiet down here on pit lane right now. I think I'm going to plead the fifth as well on that topic that you guys were talking about there. We got several guys that are multiple laps down. It's been a busy place down here on pit road tonight. A lot of fast repairs used, a lot of timed repairs used, a lot of tires used, a lot of tempers used, and feelings used, and man, everything's just used by the end of this night.
So I gotta ask you, Bowder, if you're Corey Saucier, I know you guys run for the same team, R&D Motorsports. What would you be wanting to tell him, kind of getting in his ear, trying to get him to be able to get around the 87 truck here on this restart?
Man, I think you got to know that you got the confidence that you were the fastest truck here early on in this race, and just really focus on your own marks and do the best you can to have the best race that you can possibly have, and try to bring home that win, as we're going to get ready to go back green here and the pace car's diving off.
I'll tell you what, Corey got a better restart than he has the last few runs. He's going to be a little closer to Andrew Harris as they work down into turn one.
He's got to be careful not to let Jonathan Byer get to his inside as they head into 3, but off front, Andrew Harris is
3 wide.
3 wide, that's not going to work. Michael Madden, they saved it, I believe.
I tell you what, though, the 3 truck Corey Saucier does not want to see another yellow. I think he needs green flag laps to be able to reel this thing in and get the lead and take the win here at Bristol, because he's filling up the mirror of this 87 truck of Andrew Harris.
Yeah, Andrew Harris looking out that rearview mirror here, Jake, and like I said, he knows he's only got a couple minutes away from potentially his second win of the season, but right now, you've got one of the toughest competitors out here on the track, and we're coming down to the end of this thing here, Jake. We've seen it happen plenty of times. If Corey gets that back bumper there on that white flag lap,
we got a wreck in the back. Now the caution's out. Jonathan Byers around.
No, and they continue to stack up in.
Man, oh man, more carnage on the track here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Jonathan Byer had a tow. Unfortunate for him, running top 5 there when he got taken out. But we'll see it again here, man. Another Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Wreck Replay. Make sure to check them out on Shopify. So on board here with Jonathan Byer coming across the line into turn 1, all by himself. Oh, Kevin Winker. Winker went to the inside and kind of washed up the track. Not sure if Michael Madden was to the inside of him as well. Might have made it 3 wide, and just, on the short track like here at Bristol, man, 3 wide does not work for long. And there they go as you see them all spinning out down the back.
Yeah, and the fact that they made 3 wide even work for as long as they did a little bit ago is nothing short of astonishing. I'll tell you what, the fact that Winker was able to get a run like that down in there, Jake, on those old tires, really makes you wonder how well he has preserved them. And, this Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Wreck Replay, we're going to have another caution out here. And Walt Lepicki's rough night just seems to continue there as you saw that 10 truck stuck on that inside row. Few trucks are going to hit pit road, maybe take their last fast repair, but we're going to have a very, very, very short run here to the end.
Yeah, I want to see if we can get on board with the 61 truck. He kind of drove through that wreck and was able to pick up quite a few spots before that yellow actually came out. So Matt Johnson here in the 61. See the wreck start happening in front of him there. Winker gets to the inside of Jonathan Byer and just squeezes by.
Threaded the needle.
When it's coming down to the end of the race like that, the brakes don't get used as much in the cautions. Sometimes right there, you got to be able to take it and send it just to pick up those few spots.
Send it, he did, man. He licked the stamp and sent it. But he's got himself a P3. He's gonna have a good shot on this restart. Although I guess he would be on the inside with Harris taking the outside, so not kind of where you want to be. But right now, man, our top 5. Andrew Harris is leading this thing. Corey Saucier in 2nd. Matt Johnson in 3rd place. Michael Madden in 4th. And Jose Castellanos in 5th place. And Kevin Winker, man, I know he's in 6th place, but that man has been out on those tires since lap 33. And he's still in the top 10.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys, somebody that made a really big move there just before that caution. We saw it and called it out. The 3 wide move by Michael Madden. As aggressive as it may have been, that's a really big move. If you look at this points battle that they were having, Corey up there running in 2nd position, and Michael was back there, I believe, in 7th or 8th at the time of the move, and really picked up some spots there to maybe close that gap and maintain that points lead that he's got, as they're going to be sitting 2nd and 3rd now.
And I'll tell you what, he's going to have... Oops, sorry, go ahead, Jake.
No, you go, buddy.
Well, I was going to say here, I couldn't really tell when they flashed across the line. Right now it's showing Michael Madden in 3rd, but I believe he was actually the 4th place truck. So he's going to be on the outside. He's going to be right there behind the leader, Andrew Harris, and in the process of doing so, we'll have to take a look and see what type of a jump he can get there. But you got himself, Johnson right back up there in 4th. This thing's not over. We're going to have 3 quick laps here at Bristol, about 45 seconds to end this thing, and let's see what happens.
And Michael Madden got a great restart on the outside. He's going to be side by side with Corey Saucier as they go into 1. Not what Saucier wants to see, man. It's going to let Andrew Harris just pull away from these 2 as they come to 2 to green, assuming there's no yellow here.
And Andrew Harris just loving what he's watching in his rear view. And Cody Madden's going to get to the outside, and he's going to set his sights there for that 87 truck. We've seen that 15 truck this evening, not scared to be aggressive.
Back here.
Walt Lepicki again, the 18, Bobby Anderson. Not sure who that orange truck was.
Doc Holliday, I believe.
That 10 smoking now.
That's definitely not what you wanted to see there if you're Andrew Harris. Those guys racing back there for 2nd, and you were just driving off into the sunset.
You were a quarter of a mile away from that white flag there, Daniel, but let's take a look here and see what happened on the Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay. Oh, man, the 7. Yeah, the 7
just
just
got a
turned down
little
in
loose
the
off the corner.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he got loose, if he just turned down there, what happened, but Walt Lepicki, I think he may be ready for about a double of those margaritas after the night he's had tonight, Jake.
Yeah, it's just been unfortunate for him, man, involved in a ton of wrecks. Kind of shocked as he's able to still be running. It seems like he's been in quite a few wrecks, and none of his own doing, kind of like we just saw here, just kind of get run into by another truck. But it looked like he blew up there, so I'm not sure if he'll be able to get back on track. But
I believe he's still on track right now, Jake. He's out there, scored just 1 lap down right at the moment, running around here.
Oh, he is, and as soon as he said that, I flipped to him and he blew up, actually, so that's going to end that engine's night.
I love that shot right there.
So here we go, guys. Andrew Harris, man, if he takes the outside here, he's going to trap the 15 and the 3 truck on the inside, and that's going to leave Matt Johnson in 4th place on the outside behind Andrew Harris on this restart. That's going to be something to watch, assuming he keeps taking the outside, you know what I mean?
I think that's the race-winning move.
Yeah, for sure. The only thing I think he's got to worry about is if Madden can get a heck of a restart. And the thing is they've been watching him all night. He's led just about every one of these restarts this evening. They know about where he's going. So the thing that he's going to have to do here, I think he's going to have to change his cadence up just a little bit. Maybe go a little earlier, a little later than what he's used to. Just something here. But the biggest thing, he needs to be the first one into the gas and with the traction, because I'm going to tell you right now, if he waits a little too late, he lets Madden on that inside get a better restart than he is, and they go into turn 1 side by side, there's a good chance that Madden goes and throws that slider down into turn 3 to try and take that lead coming to the white.
Yeah, definitely think you're right there, Dean. I think it's going to be hard for them to get to him, man. They're going to have to really send it in the inside to even kind of pull up close to him unless they get one heck of a restart. But, I mean, Michael Madden's able to do it, man. Speaking of awesome races, man, we got the All-Star race coming up.
Yeah, Jake, draft day is going to be Saturday, May the 1st. We're going to run qualifying races Saturday, May the 8th, and then the All-Star race itself is going to be May the 9th. We're going to work on a draft system here, and, Madden and Harris up here up front right now, they're trying to throw their names into that hat to be draftees, and Jake, I think you're definitely a first-rounder, no question, so far with what you've been able to accomplish this season in our Cup Series.
Yeah, not worried about that. Got bigger, better prizes to worry about. But, man, speaking of prizes, that 887 truck, man, is looking to get it done here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Going to lead him to the green again here. He's going to wait for that pace car to roll off. And a heck of a restart. Michael Madden kind of keeping pace with him. Shuts the door on Matt Johnson to the outside. I think Madden might have a run here into 3 on him.
Yeah, it's going to look here. Now, Johnson's going to try, and he's going to dive in there. He's going to try the chrome horn, but it's not going to work. And that's going to let Harris scoot away. He knows now that Madden's not afraid to use it, so you better get going here. He's going to have one more shot as we head down here.
Into
the wall. Going down the back stretch.
Together. Corey Saucer's going to save it. Going to lose a lot of positions.
But Andrew Harris is going to come across the line to win here tonight, the Rocky Top 125 at Bristol Motor Speedway. Jake, we've got a lot to unpack there, buddy.
What a finish. Unpack is right, man. We just checked 3-4 bags on our flight right there with that one. There's a lot to break down right there. I saw that happening a lot earlier than when it unfolded on track. The way Michael Madden was coming at it too, I knew he was going to have to check up, and Matt Johnson was right behind him. But we'll see it again here on a rec replay brought to you by Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia. See Matt throw the block on the restart to Matt Johnson as ahead into 1. This is with 2 to green. He gets a good run, tries to run down. Andrew Harris gets to his tailgate, kind of trying to rattle his cage. Didn't really get to him that well. Now he's got a block from behind on Matt Johnson again as they head into 1. And this is where it starts to kind of cause the issue. You see Matt Johnson get a huge run off the top. Michael Madden kind of had to check up because he knew he was going to hit the outside wall at a 2.
What a move by Castellanos to move up. What an awareness to know that 3 truck was moving up, and he just moved up the track to miss it. And right now,
Johnson, man, I don't know if you saw that, muscled his way through there to get P2 from Michael Madden.
Wow, Jake, that was a lot to unpack there. The biggest thing I'm going to take from it is I probably shouldn't pick winners anymore because you and Daniel here both picked some good finishing vehicles tonight, and I once again managed to put a curse on Cole Martin. But Bronco Motorsports as a whole celebrating out there on the front stretch as the 87 of Andrew Harris begins to burn it down here, and we'll take a look here in just a moment at our official results from this evening here in Bristol, Tennessee.
As we still see, man, Bronco Motorsports burning it down. Andrew Harris, heck of a job to bring it home. Think he just blew it up. So the donut party's over for Bronco Motorsports. I guess he still has a little bit of power. Might have been Michael York here at the start-finish line that blew up. These boys are burning it down like they should. These two are going to come together, do a little burnout. Cole Martin on the hood.
Cole Martin's just wanting to make sure that he has his teammate Andrew Harris check the bottom side of that truck.
Cole Martin just went at game mode on the field right there, climbing over the 87's hood. They're still going at it. That's what we love to see, man. When you win at a place like here, at Bristol Motor Speedway, you deserve to have your time to burn it down and rip your truck up. Obviously, iRacing, it don't matter. But here we go, man. This is our finishing grid, or finishing positions for our drivers. Our winner, Andrew Harris in the 87 for Bronco Motorsports. Matt Johnson in the 61 for Jonathan Byer Racing. Michael Madden was able to come home third for Rev Racing. Jose Castellanos for Stryker Motorsports in fourth. And rounding out the top 5, Byron McDonald squeaking out a 5th place finish for Rev Racing.
Yeah, broadcast partner there for Sunday nights. Byron getting him a good finish here this evening. Always good for a top 5. Brandon Domain finally finding a little bit of luck there, coming home in 6th. 2 striker cars there in 4th and 6th. Kyle Wimble for Jonathan Byer Racing in 7th. Kevin Winker on a heck of a tire strategy, pulling a top 10 this evening in 8th. Michael York in 9th for Bronco. So another Bronco car right there. You had 2 of them in the top 10, and then Corey Saucier rounding out our top 10.
And Jack Johnson in 11th place for Jonathan Byer Racing. 12th place, we got Rabios Jr. from Team SRN. Nathaniel Mann, one of our Xfinity drivers, jumping down here for the Truck Series race, coming home 13th. Sean Kozier out of Rev Racing in 14th. So that's 3 guys in the top 14 for Rev Racing. 15th, you got Corey Knight for Team SRN. 16th, Josh Mueller out of Tank Racing. Evan Scott out of Filthy 5 Motorsports. And Mike Lewis coming home P18 at Bristol Motor Speedway. So that's 3 Striker Motorsports cars or trucks in the top 18. And 19th, we got Jonathan Byer for his own team, obviously, in JBR. And then 20th place, we got Nathan Nixon for Rev Racing. So that's 4 Rev Racing trucks, all in the top 20.
Yeah, and Jake, I tell you, one of those Rev Racing trucks, the highest finishing one of them, Michael Madden here up in the Speed Racing Network booth. Michael, we saw you come home in P3 this evening. Had a good chance at Andrew Harris entering turn 3. That chrome horn just about came into effect there, man. Tell us about your night.
Oh man, what an up and down night! It was about to come into effect. I just kind of ran out of time there. I felt like I had a really fast truck. My apologies out to the 3 truck. I did not mean to kind of hit him at the end. That was just, I hate racing like that. So it got loose into the wall, and then the 61 kind of got in the quarter. And unfortunately, he was an innocent bystander there. But all in all, good night. I felt like I had something for those guys up front if I could just keep myself in position, but got caught up in some, early race drama like I've been getting in the last few weeks. Seems to be the trend, guys. I always try to fight out of the hole I put myself in, huh?
Well, when you fight as hard as what you can there, Michael, there's nothing to hang your head on, buddy. And, a top 3 at Bristol, especially with the way that this race looked this evening, always an awesome thing to be able to bring home. So, man, what a run for you in Rev Racing this evening. Anybody that you'd like to thank here tonight?
Absolutely. Always go out. My heart goes out to Sean and all the guys at Sparkle and Shine for keeping me in this opportunity that I've been given, and keep going. Everybody at Elite 3, all the Rev guys, keep stacking pennies every week. Like I tell you guys, we're stacking pennies every week in this championship run here. So a little bit of dent here in Bristol. Keep it going, and we'll see you in Martinsville.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, we'll get you back down here to your team. Congrats again on the 3rd place finish here at Bristol.
Thanks, boys.
Next up here, Jake, we're going to get Matt Johnson, our 2nd place finisher here from Jonathan Byer Racing in that 61. Heck of a run up to P2. Matt Johnson, Dean Brummett, Jake Roell, and Daniel Bowdler up here in the Speed Racing Network booth. How are you doing this evening, sir?
I'm doing good. First of all, hey, Daniel. But
How's it going? Hey, we saw you get into some trouble there early on in the race to about the middle of the race, and nice little battle back for you there. Tell us about the middle part of your race.
oh man, I didn't take tires. One stop, I stayed out, got the points that I needed, chase wise, and trying to get to the chase. But it really put me behind the 8 ball. I came down, got tires. And I had a good truck. I just couldn't get through the field. It was just, man, Daniel, you know how it is sometimes. It's just arms up, go at it, and do what you can do.
Yeah, that's the mindset sometimes you got to have when it comes to these races with the early frustrations and everything early on in these races. And but no, a good battle back for you. We talked about you early on before the race here that you were one of those guys that was right on the cut. And, a 2nd place finish is going to really help get you back up there and get you in that fight. What do you got to do moving forward to get yourself up there in that cut line?
Well, the battle's not over yet. We got to go to Martinsville. We got to perform. I've got some brand new Fanatec V2 pedals coming. I think that's going to help in Martinsville. I want to point this out, though. It hurts coming in 2nd again. Qualified on pole tonight, or got the pole rather. Qualified on pole last year and finished 2nd. So 2 years in a row, P2. I'm going to get one at Bristol eventually.
Yeah, it's going to be coming, man. You ran great here. Look forward to seeing you here on these next 2 short tracks coming up, and see if you can get up there in that cut line. But before we let you go, man, is there anybody you want to thank?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I've got Extreme. It's a funny story. Extreme Recon as our new sponsor. I called them Extreme Raccoon earlier in the race. Monumental Esports, Texas Footworks, University of North America, Black Acid, and Allison Racing.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on the second place finish. Look forward to seeing you here these next 2 weeks.
Tip, four guys. I'll see you later on. Wish I could come out and play in the Xfinity tomorrow night, but I got a broadcast, so can't do that.
All right, buddy.
All right, man.
Heck of a drive tonight, Matt. You were my pick, so it was great seeing you come home P2, man, and enjoy it. And we'll see you next week at Martinsville.
10-4. See you guys in Virginia.
Well, guys, my favorite part about Bristol Motor Speedway is Victory Lane, and we're going to go down here to Victory Lane to meet with our winner this evening, Andrew Harris. Andrew, this is Dean Brummett, Jake Roell, and Daniel Bowdler up in the Speed Racing Network booth. Congratulations this evening. How's that rooftop Victory Lane down there at Bristol Motor Speedway looking this evening?
This is awesome. I'm so glad to be talking to you guys again.
Well, it's awesome to be able to talk to us here for once, and us not curse you here. So, Andrew, we were kind of joking up here in the booth when we broke the news to you there about the the outside lane being an eligible choice for you there as the leader. How did that change up the last half of your race, having that to your utilization?
Well, I'm not real sure what it changed. You get a real big jump when you're the leader, though. So, yeah, I guess it did change something. I took the top.
Well, Andrew, your second win here on the season, the third win in a row for Bronco Motorsports. You guys are just on an absolute roll right now, man. What can you attribute to your success here this evening at Bristol?
We have taken a whole different route to come into these races, like just practicing. I think I did 230 laps about 20 minutes before this race started, and that's before I took the practice laps in the session.
Well, man, it definitely looks like it had helped you out here this evening. And, Bristol Motor Speedway, absolutely my favorite track on the circuit without a shadow of a doubt. So I'd say it's probably got a very good spot in your heart here now this evening. And, Andrew, anybody that you'd like to thank this evening?
Again, just all of Bronco, Sandwich Man Racing, Sports Memorabilia on Shopify, Shoney's. Of course, I'm not on the East Coast, so I can't. I've never been there, but I heard they're really good. And Chris Massey, Nick Joyner, or Nick Goen, all those guys, Cole, awesome dudes over here at Bronco.
Well, Andrew, it's a phrase that has been uttered many, many times in the almost 20 years since it started. Can you give our fans at home one big, it's Bristol, baby?
Oh, it's Bristol, baby.
Hey, there you go, Andrew. Congrats again this evening, buddy. Have a good night. Jake, Daniel, we saw much of what we thought we were going to see this evening, and in the end, actually a little bit of a surprise winner. What's your overall thoughts tonight?
I'll tell you right now, cautions breed cautions. We all talked about it coming into the show, but next week they're going to be headed out to Martinsville Speedway for the Clippy 125 next Wednesday, April 7th, 9:30 p.m. Central, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, same place, same time as always. So make sure to come out next week, check out our Truck Series race. Or I apologize, in 2 weeks. Look at me getting ahead of ourselves. We get a week off, so we'll see you in 2 weeks, Wednesday, April 7th for the Paperclip, Martinsville. But boys, I'm not racing it. I'll be broadcasting tomorrow night. I know Daniel Bowdler, you'll be behind the wheel of the 6 Sparkle and Shine Chevy Camaro. And Dean Brummett's going to be behind the wheel of that number 5 RSR Toyota Supra sponsored by Days Inn and Sheets. So what are you guys looking forward to tomorrow night?
Well, looking forward to not being in that particular car, Jake, with everything, man. Daniel, I think you'll agree after watching tonight. A lot of patience. You definitely want to go through and qualify up front, just so that way you can try and keep the bad stuff to the rear, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think track position is definitely going to be key. I'd have to say if there's one thing I'm going to be looking forward to, it's probably going to be the back bumper, that number 5 Days In and Sheets sponsored Toyota Camry. of Dean Brummett there. So he seems to have this place figured out. I really struggle to figure this place out. So hopefully I can keep looking forward to him and kind of learn my way around here as we go.
Well, Daniel, it'll be fun seeing you out here tomorrow night. Jake, it'll be, hopefully I at least get made a pick of a race here tomorrow night and cannot disappoint. And guys, just a blast here with you this evening from everybody here at Speed Racing Network. We always just want to remind you that every day in life, go faster.